Hello everybody, this is Sprig and we're back. What If's back here with part 1 of a new series. This is What If Deku was the ultimate werewolf. Okay, some lore behind this. So everything up to season 4 is the exact same. So season 4 still happens, but then season 5, the whole thing of Aaron going through rehab happens. But the only things that don't happen in this series is all the bad stuff that happens at Starlight. So the whole thing with Ian doesn't happen. After dying, no. Aaron turning into the giant wolf, that doesn't happen. So also magic works different in this world, in this universe. So start talking about magic. So in this world, people you can have this certain glyph. Wait, no. So Mayflower and humans can get this glyph, but werewolves, they don't have it. And well, there are all the glyphs. There are at least 17 ones that can form can form. There's 11 like really rare that have only happened like once. Like they've only had one wielder. But then there's 6 that are really common. Now, the glyphs can appear all over, in these specific places. Well, the person really just chooses where they want their glyph to appear. They can move it around their body, and it is rare, but it's rare, but it can happen, where people are born with 2 or 3 glyphs. Those people are thought as, they get into really high, really good schools. So there's magic schools in this world, so people can go there to help out with the police, and some even go up until where they become into a special task force that deal with stuff. And what else? Yes. So let's get into how Izuku was conceived. After the few years at Starlight, Aaron's scars have all gone away because of Aphmau. And Aphmau has perfected that healing technique up into the point where she can do it in the matter of a few seconds. Her glyph was a healing one. Okay, also something that I should mention: all the powers that can manifest. Let's start with the 6 common ones: fire, water, earth, thunder, air, and illusion. Those 6 are the ones that are most common to appear. Some people have 3 of these, some people have 2 of these, and some people only have 1. It is the rare chance that you are born with no glyph. And the glyph can appear between when you're born and till you're 18. And on the rare occasion, it happens after then. So let's continue with the story. After the few years, after a year at Starlight, they go back to their street. They still work at that cafe. And yeah, after a couple years go by, and Aaron and Aphmau decide to have a kid. And so the people that also have kids are Zane and Kawaii-chan. Give me a second. Travis and Caitlin. Gareth and Lucinda. And wait, no. Instead of Gareth and Lucinda, instead of Gareth and Lucinda, it's let's keep it Gareth and Lucinda, and then Dante, and the girl that has the ghost that ghost with her. I forget her name, but I know that the spirit's name was Ghost at one point, because she couldn't remember her name. and she had the whole thing for Zane. That's the I think it's Kim. I think her name's Kim. Yeah, and well, yeah. So Zane and Quietchen's kid is a Mayflower. Gareth and Lucinda's kid is a werewolf. Um, Kim and Dante's kid is just a regular human. Um, and and Travis and Caitlin's kid is also human. So all of those guys know that Aaron is the ultimate werewolf. Well, they know that he's a werewolf, but some of them know, like the regular guys. Actually, no, they all know that he's the ultimate werewolf, and they're all fine with it. Even Caitlin, even though it took her a while to get used to it, she understands. She understands. Um, so all the kids, so all of those of the main people's kids, they all are somewhat close, except Izuku. He's more far off. He hangs out with them sometimes, but he's more like off, like thinking towards himself. Like he's one of those deep thinkers. He thinks like who he wants to be when he grows up. He was thinking like his dad being like the CEO of, well, his company. And now, also, Sylvana, which is Aphma's mom, is obsessed with Izuku, and Aphma does name her kid Izuku. Aaron was a little skeptic of this, thinking that it was really Japanese and that he's heard this name before, but he can't remember quite where from. As well, yeah. So also, Izuku had Izuku from this What If has watched the whole My Hero Academia series. So he knows now where he got his name from, and is kinda pissed that he is named after a, well, pussy is the easiest way to put it. But Aphma doesn't let him watch it. Well, he actually discovers it after, like, not until he's like 11. So yeah. The only part of the My Hero Academia story that he did like was Deku's Rogue arc. So let's get into. Oh, also, Zane and the this What If Izuku is very close, and also, Izuku looks like a young Aaron Lycan. Okay, let's get into Izuku's origin. So, well, this whole thing will be his origin. Also, this What If will have crossovers to 3 other shows. So, let's get into it. Let's start off with, like, after Izuku's born. Aaron realizes that he is a boy, so they also decided to keep the gender a mystery. So Aaron decides, he asks Lucinda if she can create a potion that can stop stop the ultima gene from awakening, as it took her around a year to make it. And it does work. It does stop Izuku's ultimate gene from awakening, which at that point it did, and Izuku's ears and tail popped out. But since they were a kid, they used it on him, which made him forget about that whole entire situation, that whole entire thing, since he was also a kid. So yeah. Then let's skip to when Izuku is around 5. well, no, he's around 4. He goes to daycare and he gets bullied by one of the kids. His name is, let's go with Gene, for crying out. Yeah, Gene. Let's go with Gene. And he doesn't tell his parents that he's getting bullied. The reason that he's getting bullied is because his parents are wealthy, and those kids don't really like that. Zane, like all the other members of that whole group, they do go there, but whenever they whenever the bullies bully Izuku, it's usually near like the back of the school, so then nobody can see them. And yeah, so also let's skip to when Izuku is, say, 11. So Izuku at this point has unlocked a glyph on his body. This being a fire one. This is on the number 1 slot of his hand, on that hand, on his left hand. So at this point he's learned how to control the fire. So he unlocked that glyph when he was around 9. So it's given him 2 years to master it. And people are allowed to use their glyphs, but as long as it's not for harm to other people. But there is people that use their glyphs to commit robberies. The same, it's like the same deal with quirks. And the point of the hero of the magic school is to deal with these people. So yeah. And also, the kid that bullies Izuku is a werewolf. He looks similar to Katsuki. Let's just make that easy, so then I don't have to create a whole character description. They also make fun of the fact that he's named after an anime character, which he didn't know what this meant until he looked up Izuku, and then he found out about the anime My Hero Academia. This is around 11, which they didn't even find out about him being named after an anime character until his I forget the kid's name already. His parents bring it up, the fact that one of the kids at school was named after an anime character. Yeah. So let's go to when. Okay, yeah. Let's continue like when Izuku is in primary school, which he's around 11. And this is where he awakens his second glyph. This being water. This being in the number 2 on his hand. And he's at and this took him this was easier for him to master, since fire was one of the more difficult ones to control. And he has really since he learned how to control fire, he found it easier to control water. And then we go to one fateful night on a full moon. No, it's very stereotypical, but for this to work, he needs to awaken something. One night on a full moon, Izuku was looking out at the full moon, and something in him just ignites, as then he starts going through this change, as he can feel something inside him, like something that was hurting him inside of him, as he starts yelling, this causing his parents to come into the room. As then they see that his ears pop out, and his tail pop out, and that his eyes the black parts of his eyes turn red. As then, Aaron quickly says, I thought that potion that we gave him was supposed to last forever. Well, not forever. Well, was supposed to was supposed to last forever. As Aphmau says, yeah, I know. Must have been something must have happened. As then Izuku look at him. He has this furious look in his eyes. His mind blacking out. As he draws some some of his some of his teeth sharpen to a point, and claws come out of his fingers. As they say that that's not normal for a werewolf to have. I know that they have intense strength and intense agility and all that, but for some reason he's got claws and extra features. Also, he's not wearing any shoes at this time. He's only wearing pants and a jacket. And then let's skip to, well, actually no, let's start at the same time. At this point, Izuku just jumps out of the window and starts running, jumping on from rooftop to rooftop. This waking up a bunch of people since this is at night. So his parents follow him until he gets and they call their friends, them coming to help. Also, some other magical abilities. Actually, no, let's just keep it the same. Caitlyn has water. Also, they can manipulate that water and change the temperature, so they can make it hot, and they can make it freezing cold. Caitlyn has water. Zane, air. Kawaii-chan, also air. And Travis, he doesn't really have an element to use. He can use summoning spells since summoning circle. Well, he can use another form of magic, which these are glyphs. Well, no, summoning circles, which this can summon. Which this can do, well, pretty much what normal magic can do in that world. And there's also potions that can give you, well, effects, and he's gotten good at this. At this point, Travis's father has locked that spirit that was inside him away, which means Travis's dad and him got closer, and he tells Travis about the whole spirit and that whole thing. So yeah. As we know, what's it called? Aphmau has healing. Gareth, he didn't have one. He had a one that enhances strength. Whenever he got into any when he got all hyped up, which this only happened sometimes, which is why he could break down doors so easily, to make that easier. Also, witches, they're the same as in Mine Street. So if they use a wand, they can do all spells. So it's the same for Lucinda. She doesn't have any ability. Who else? Well, yeah, those are the main people. Kawaii-chan. She has let's go with water. Yeah. And, well, they all chase after Izuku until they get to a forest. Where Izuku is starting to go all, getting all, furious, and so he starts clutching his head. As then, his eyes, they go fully red, with the full pupil is red, with a silver, with a gray, little dot at the center, as his eyes open wide, as then the white part of his eyes starts turning black, up to the point where they look like this. As Aaron looks at Izuku, and he says, "My eyes never did that. What's happening to him?" As then he starts changing as veins pop all over Izuku's body, And by the end of the whole transformation, he looks like this. And they've never seen. Well, actually, no. Aaron has learned how to control his ultimate powers, up to the point where he can change into a wolf. Where Aaron said that it took a while for him, but he didn't unlock this ability until he was until he was a few years old, and he learned how to control this ability. This is my view. He learned how to control this form, like after the whole thing at Stardust. Yeah. So yeah. As he starts growling, as then he starts breathing fire, and a whole tsunami. Well, no, like he can also shoot water. As then another thing awakens inside of him. Well, a few things awaken inside of him at this point. He starts. It starts raining. There being thunder. As then a thunderbolt strikes on Izuku, as then he starts getting surrounded by this black-red electricity. And then she shoots a zap of electricity at them. With, I'm pretty sure it's Zane that I gave the thunder ability to. Well, if I didn't, I'm going to give Zane the thunder ability. And yeah. He moves it out of the way of them hitting him. As then this huge gust of air shoots at them. As then Kawaii-chan makes that go away. As then Izuku harnesses a ball of wind in his mouth and shoots it like a Deku's Air Force bullet. And then a pillar of rock forms out from under Izuku, and then he jumps up and he starts attacking them. With them not being happy with this, pulling out a tranquilizer to knock him out. This making him revert back into his human form, where his ears and tail, teeth and claws retreat back into his body. As they see that, as his shirt is now ripped off of him, but his trousers are still there, but they can see on his body, now, so they can now see the fire, a water, an earth one, which is the 3 on this arm, and a thunder, which is the 4 on this one, and air, which is the 5 on this one. Which they've never seen this before. They've never seen 5 glyphs on one body. As then a sneaky one pops up, which is 15. This being the illusion one. Which then off. Well, like this is when Izuku's knocked out, as it shows. But then that fades away, as then out of the trees, the wolf Izuku shows up again. As then they say he must have used illusions to make us think that they hit him. As then they see a tranquilizer bullet on Izuku's shoulder. As then they said that it must have hit him, but it must have not affected him as much as they thought. As Aaron says, that was a tranquilizer that was supposed to knock out me. As then Izuku starts growling at them again. As then he shoots a fireball on the ground, which causes the ground to ignite on fire. As then he starts standing up on 2 legs, which then he looks like this. He looks like this towards them, with this energy starting to like going off him, like this, like it is on this picture. With it started, which it's like flames going down his back, but then it shoots off in different directions, like electricity. And then Aaron's like, how is he doing this? As they're all asking the same question. As then, for some reason, he just falls off onto the side. As then, this time he actually did turn back into his human form. And then, they see the same thing that they saw before, with Izuku having the having the fire glyph, the earth glyph, water glyph, air glyph, wait, thunder glyph and air glyph, and the illusion glyph. Which they're saying that most likely was an illusion before, but it was showing his real body. As then they take him back home, and when they do get back, the next day when they do get back home, Aaron, Aphmau, and the whole group have a little chat with Izuku. Well, mainly Aphmau and Aaron say that you telling them the whole story of the ultama, and how it seems like you're also one of them, but you seem to have actual magical abilities. As then Izuku then says that aren't werewolves not supposed to get magical abilities? And as they say, well, yes, but it seems like you're different in this case since you were human for some time. As so your body must be able to use well, magic. Well, must be able to summon glyphs. And last night you well showed, well, there was 2 more glyphs on you. Well, actually 4 more glyphs. Well, 3 I think. Well, yeah, 4 glyphs, 4 more glyphs on you. As he then says that there's, give me a second. As he says, there's actually wait, give me another second. There's actually 7 glyphs there now on my body. As they say in unison, 7. As then Afner then says, "Show us." As then he pulls off the right right shoulder part of his jacket, and it shows a null glyph, which they're like it's one of the it's one of the rare glyphs that have only happened in a few years. As they're shocked at this, since they never expected to see Izuku with, well, 7 glyphs, since the max a person has ever had is 3. As an Aaron says, it must be the ultimate part of his body. So, since he was human and now he's a werewolf, he must be able to, well, contain more power. Since we know that humans have a limit. As then, like after they see this, Aphmau and Aaron show Izuku their ears. As then Izuku, like a couple seconds after they did that, his ears suddenly pop out. As then he gets this feeling. As then he checks his head and he feels the ears and saying, "What the hell are those?" As then they say that they're your ears, honey. As then he says, "Then how the hell did I do that? Then how the hell did they get there? I didn't tell them to come out." As they said, it's kind of something that happens sometimes. As Aaron then says that it's happened to me sometimes. That's how. It's because you haven't learned how to control them. As he also says, your mother had to wear a hat because she couldn't hide them. As then she punches him on the shoulder. As well, yeah. As Izuku doesn't go to school for around 5 months. Him being tutored as well as being taught how to use his werewolf abilities. As how long have I been doing this? Yeah. So let's continue on. So during those 5 months, he's learned how to control his ears as well as his tail. but some things that happen, he turns into a wolf whenever he's under immense stress. And he's been when he goes to high school, he gets put in the werewolf class, as he understands why. But most of the other people don't understand why, since he looks like a human, as he has to hide the fact that he is a werewolf. So let's continue. And also he's gotten a really good control of his emotions. Also, let me explain what the null power is. This pretty much gives the null power gives him the abilities of most. It gives him full control over some forms of reality. Well, actually no. It really just gives him the ability to summon stuff as well as manipulate other forces around him. Something else that it can do. As I said, it can summon creatures. Some of those creatures are warlocks, like past warlocks, as well as other creatures such as hell beasts. There and some other things. He can also control the way things move, so it's kind of like gravity manipulation, as well as a little bit of reality manipulation. So he can this also gives him the ability of telekinesis. But when he uses the null ability, he loses his emotions while he uses it. So he has no emotion on his face. But the first person who ever used it had no emotions to begin with. So in those years of primary school, he hides his body the whole time, so nobody sees all the amount of glyphs that are on his body. As then, a couple years later, while they're on a family camping trip, Izuku's out, he gets attacked by a bear. Him getting surprised by it, him not doing anything, him not being able to react. So he doesn't know about it, he doesn't notice it, and his wolf sentence didn't go off until a couple seconds later, as he ends up getting killed by this. But then a couple seconds later, he gets back up, and by this time his eyes have turned back to this, and his ears and tail show up. And also something that also happens. Izuku gets the brand of the ultama symbol. The lichen symbol tattooed on his back. So he also has the ability of regeneration. This is only being an ultima thing. So Aaron has this symbol as a smaller version on his shoulder, but Izuku has it on his back. And I will show you what Izuku's looks like on the next part, where it's actually will most likely be irrelevant. He has this on his back, but on a much larger scale. So they having to actually burn it into his body. This hurting him much more than Aaron's did, since it was just Aaron's shoulder, and he's gotten somewhat of a pain tolerance. Izuku has also gotten a somewhat resistance to wolfsbane. So it doesn't affect him as much as it would most werewolves. So if it's injected into Izuku, it won't kill him, but it will do enough damage that if the bullet isn't if he doesn't get a special neurotoxin that will heal him in time, he has a chance to die. As then, also, the at this, like, when he gets back up and he turns back into regular human, he sees that the bear's dead, and he sees that his shirt is ripped a bit, as he then sees another glyph on his body. He has one where the 7 spot is, so right there. Him then going up to his parents, say that he got attacked by a bear, and that he thinks he might have died, but he for some reason got back up, as he then shows them the mark, which they then says that's a special, well, that's the angelic mark. And yeah, as then after this experience, Izuku has learned how to fight properly, him getting combat lessons from Aaron. Yeah. Now we skip around when Izuku was 12. Izuku and his family are out and about. Aaron isn't like his parents, so he's not distant. Sometimes he does take breaks, most of the time, so he can be with his family. And so they were out amongst in the town, as then Izuku gets shot by a sniper in the heart. But him falling to the ground, him bleeding, everybody hearing the shot, everybody making a huge commotion. But then he gets back up, and where he gets shot starts to heal. As then, where the bullet hit, which is 6 on his body. Wait, yeah, 6. Starts to heal over. As then his eyes go back to their ultima form, as nobody sees this, but he basically teleports using his null magic. Teleportation is also a part of null magic. And yeah, which he teleports to the person who shot him, as he then slashes at them, as he then takes them back to where his parents are, and he tells them to call the police. Him saying this in a much sterner tone, since he used his null ability. As they call the police, he gets arrested, and they take Izuku back home. As he then takes off his shirt, as he looks in the mirror and he sees another mark where the 6 is. Him then showing his parents, them saying that's the demonic mark, saying that's odd, angelic and demonic. What's next, God? As they all start laughing. As then in between where the 8 is, the God marking appears. As they're all, Aaron and Aphmau are both shocked. As they're wondering, why the hell does he have the angelic, demonic, and godly sign on them? Glyph. Also, something I should mention, Aphmau's glyph is the godly glyph, and she has it on her shoulder. Well, she actually has it hidden, which is she has it like where her, as I said, where her shoulder is. But when she's out and about, she has it where the 6 is. And yeah. So let's skip to when Izuku is in high school. Izuku is in the werewolf class, and so at this point Izuku has gone through 2 full years of high school, him still being bullied by the same people. And yeah. So what is it? Yeah. So he has friends. Well, they are friends, but Izuku. All Aphmau's friends, kids are friends with Izuku, but he just doesn't hang out with them. He listens to music. All the time, and he's one of those smarter students, so he gets his assignments done, and he usually gets them done during the lesson that they're put out. So he gets to do basically free stuff during the entire lesson, but he does listen to the lectures even though he does usually know what happens, even though he does know most of the stuff that they're teaching. As then, by the time Izuku has it, by the time he's 14, he now has the fire, water, earth, thunder, air, demonic, angelic, godly, null, void. Void is the 11 on this arm. So this pretty much makes it so then he can make pocket dimensions, and he can create portals. They're pretty much essentially Hugo's portals from Wakfu. Even though different, even though made out of different things. He can also make a small black hole. He can also create beams, like Hugo's portals. He has destructive, which is 14 on his body. And he just doesn't use these ones. He just has them. He also hasn't trained with most of these ones. The ones that I'm now mentioning, like the new ones. He hasn't trained with demonic, angelic, godly, void. Well, no, he's trained with void. He doesn't train with destructive, since he knows the capability of what that can do. Destructive. That's pretty much you can create balls of energy that are capable of destroying mountains. He has spiritual, which allows him to talk to spirits while he's dreaming. As well as he has nightmare magic, which is pretty much dark magic, which is pretty much shadow manipulation, shadow warping, as well as basically all the other stuff when you think of shadow magic. He also has illusion. I did mention that. He has trained with that. But the ones that he mainly uses is fire. He uses his water sometimes, but only when other people are in danger, and also when people can't see him. He also uses his thunder and air, earth, and illusion, if need be. Like, say if also his illusions, he can make them solid. And this is one of the more longer videos that I've done. And yeah, he does get a couple more later down the line. And so, actually no. Let's continue going. So around halfway into the year, Izuku is walking home. And at this day is a Friday. And he gets this image put in his head, where it's Aaron and Aphmau saying that you need to hide. As then, as Izuku looks down an alley, he sees this portal. As he decides to go through this, him getting teleported into this dark into this forest. As that's where I'll be leaving it off. So, if you like this what if, please like, comment, and subscribe. And have a good day, night, evening, whatever time it is for you. Have a good time. Goodbye, and good luck to all of you.